Clearing the malignancy. This is not a system error. It's an infection. Engaging target. Containment initiated.
Okay, this whole video is going to be about this thing called TSC2 on the lysosome, and also what foods could support the TSC2 on the lysosome. Okay, so TSC2, TS1 is a complex that sits on the lysosomal surface. Also, active TSC2 leads to mTORC1 being off, so that means that a leucine will not work. But if someone was insulin resistant, the leucine still wouldn't work anyways, because a leucine requires insulin to work. Now, there are growth factors that phosphorylate TSC2, therefore mTORC1 is on after the TSC2 leaves the lysosome. So there are different effects when the TSC2 is on the lysosome or the TSC2 is off of the lysosome. So there could be benefits to taking the TSC2 off of the lysosome, which is the leucine working, but that could also have other issues because other processes that require TSC2 to be on the lysosome will not work or will be ineffective. Okay, so another thing that pulls the TSC2 back to the lysosome is calcium flux. Now, possibly kiwi could play a role, or the ZAP70 pathway might also play a role in there as well, but I might have to do some more research on that. Okay, so there are foods that influence TSC2 mainly by AMPK activation. When AMPK is activated, that disactivates the pathway that is needed for leucine to work. Also, people who are insulin resistant or cannot produce insulin, they have the disadvantage of TSC2 not working, because TSC2 also needs insulin and AKT strength. Okay, so also lysosomal health plays a role as well. So the first food here is a really good one and has many other benefits. For TSC2, lysosome behavior is oranges and mandarin. So it has hesperidin and vitamin C, lowering oxidative AKT signaling. So gentle mTORC1 restraint keeps TSC2 lysosome associated, limits insulin spikes. Okay, next food here for the lysosome TSC2 is grapes. Upregulates AMPK, therefore also lowering AKT phosphorylation, promoting TSC2 retention at the lysosome. Also clears mTORC1 breaking. Now, the reason the lysosome needs the TSC2 is for the lysosome to be able to degrade cargo, like degrading exosomes, maybe even possibly taking in vitamins and nutrients and packaging them up to transport to like cells and tissues. That's the problem with enabling leucine, because if leucine has to be enabled, TSC2 has to be removed off the lysosome. But as a result of the removal of TSC2 on the lysosome, then that's possibly going to lead to exosomes not being degraded in the lysosome. And then the exosomes are going to be transferred over to the tumors, and then destabilizing the immune system and cancer growth and all kinds of other bad things that exosomes do. Okay, next food here is apple. Has floritin and quercetin. Glucose transport dampening. Lowers insulin and AKT, possibly also lowering TSC2, because TSC2 also needs insulin, but it does stabilize Rheb suppression. Okay, now there's watermelon. It doesn't dislodge TSC2 unless if insulin is high. So sounds like it's actually neutral, but watermelon, it does improve mitochondrial efficiency since watermelon has a citrulline boosting nitric oxide. Now mitochondria is very important, especially for the immune cells. Immune cells that they demand a lot of ATP, especially in the nutrient shadow zones. Next food here is a tomato. This one's pretty good. Helps prevent stress-induced TSC2 loss, protecting and stabilizing the TSC2, therefore supporting the TSC2 lysosomal membrane adhesion or integrity. Next food here is green beans. Low glycemic, also has magnesium. Now magnesium is critical for lysosomal membrane repair if the lysosome is peroxidized.
Lysosomal membrane peroxidation threshold, when oxidative damage breaches the lysosome's defense. Exceed the LMP threshold, iron overload triggers catastrophic rupture.
Because if the lysosome is peroxidized, it will leak out cathepsins. And the cathepsins, they have to stay in the lysosome because cathepsins are responsible for degrading cargoes such as exosomes. And if the cathepsins can't degrade the exosomes, then that's going to lead to a catastrophic havoc caused by exosomes, which I can't cover in a different video because that will be way too long for this video.
Lysosomal membrane permeabilization, or LMP. When oxidative stress exceeds the lysosomal membrane peroxidation threshold, membrane integrity fails. Leakage initiates programmed cell death. Green beans, rich in polyphenols, may modulate the LMP threshold.
So, thanks to green beans, TSC2 remains active on the lysosome, quieting mTORC1 suppression because mTORC1 has to suppress the TSC2 on the lysosome so that leucine can be active. Next is cantaloupe. Can reduce transiently TSC2 control if eaten alone. Soft mTORC1 activation. So cantaloupe is good for leucine because it activates mTORC1. So if someone is trying to build a muscle or improve muscle protein synthesis, having cantaloupe with their amino acids would be a good idea, but would not be good for TSC2 to stay on the lysosome. Next one is a pretty good one and has many benefits. Pineapple, a protease, which is a bromelain, ECM leucining, improved nutrient diffusion, which is like a whole nother rabbit hole. Pineapple indirectly enhances growth factor access. Context dependent when it comes to TSC2 displacement. So that means that other factors play a role combined with pineapple when it comes to the TSC2 on the lysosome. Pineapple, also like a cantaloupe, mTORC1 permissive when paired with protein or maybe amino acid supplements. Okay, next food is avocado, has oleic acid, improves insulin sensitivity without AKT overdrive. Therefore, allowing the TSC2 signaling to be balanced and supports the TSC2 composition on the lysosome because TSC2 needs insulin. Insulin sensitivity is the opposite of insulin resistant. Another pretty good one here is coconuts. Coconuts, it's kind of 50-50. Coconuts does have some other major issues, such as it increasing the chances of CD70 on tumors, which is another rabbit hole. But coconut, it does help TSC2 stay engaged on the lysosome. Therefore, lysosomes can degrade exosomes and process vitamins and nutrients and other things. Coconut also prevents anti-hyperactivation of TSC2 on the lysosome, which is another rabbit hole as well. Next one is a really good one, red cabbage, anthocyanins. Improves lysosomal biogenesis, so makes more lysosomes, and also anchors TSC2 at the lysosome. So red cabbage is probably number one of the strongest mTORC1 breaks here, because mTORC1 suppresses TSC2. So red cabbage has a double effect. It improves the lysosome numbers through biogenesis and anchors the TSC2 at the lysosome. So that's it for the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.